What's up, guys? Real quick, I'm going to tell you a story about Rafael Fiziev. It's the first time I ever seen this guy fight. I believe that I was at a sports bar. I was at a popular sports bar here in my local town. For those of you who don't know, I stay in the Dallas-Fort Worth area here in Texas. And I believe that it was the prelims of UFC, I don't remember what number that was, but it was Cyril Gane versus Derek Lewis. And I remember that I seen Rafael Fiziev was up next, and he was fighting Bobby Green. And I thought to myself, man, I've been hearing a lot about this Fiziev guy. I didn't know anything about him. I just knew that he was Russian, and I knew that he trains with Petr Yan, but I didn't know much about his style, and I didn't know much about him at all. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually excited to see this guy fight. I want to see what he's about. And so I remember when the fight started, I was kind of browsing through social media on my phone while kind of looking back up at because, you know, who really pays attention to prelims like that anyway? And so I remember I was barely paying attention. And then I just remember him lighting the crowd on fire in his fight with Bobby Green. Fight of the night, I believe that it was. And next thing I know, I'm at the edge of my seat. And I'm oohing and awing at everything Fiziev was doing in the fight. I thought to myself, I was like, man, this guy's a really good striker. He's a pretty good fighter. And I remember leaving that night thinking to myself, man, I can't wait to see this guy fight again. And then there it was. UFC Fight Night, and he was fighting Brad Riddell. And I was like, oh my gosh, Fiziev is a really good striker. And I knew Brad Riddell was a really good striker. And I said, there's no way I'm missing this. And then I watched him spin kick KO Brad Riddell. And I said, how on earth does another striker do that to a striker that is the caliber of a Brad Riddell? Man, this guy is crazy. I am very impressed with Fiziev, man. In my opinion, he is probably the best striker at 155 at the moment. I know that's a bold claim to make right now, but I am very impressed by him. He's very explosive, very good technique, and I know that he has a very extensive background in Muay Thai, I believe, a very extensive kickboxing / striking background. This guy is very impressive, man. Very flashy, very dynamic, very explosive, and just really good technique, really sharp, you know? And so whenever I found out that he was going up against Rafael dos Anjos, a part of me lit up inside, and another part of me was like, oh, I don't know if he's ready for dos Anjos. Fiziev should dominate this fight on the feet for the most part. Dos Anjos is no scrub on the feet, man. If Bobby Green can tag you up, Rafael dos Anjos can probably put in some work against you. I believe that Fiziev is all around the much better striker, and he should pick apart dos Anjos, at least in the early portions of the fight. But dos Anjos, due to the versatility of him, he's going to be a tough test for Fiziev. As good as I say he is, he's not a complete fighter just yet. Because I don't know, still to this day, I don't know too much about him. I don't know how his gas tank is. I don't know how, if he falls apart midway through the fight, I don't know how he's going to deal with adversity when it comes his way. One thing that I did notice is that he doesn't deal well with guys with great footwork. In the Brad Riddell fight, he was getting touched up by Brad Riddell. Brad Riddell constantly was on his bike and just never was stationary in front of him. Same thing with Bobby Green. Bobby Green was touching him up. And another thing that I noticed about Fiziev is that he kind of can fight with his ego, and that's not good whenever you're fighting a guy, a veteran in Rafael dos Anjos, man. And whenever he fights with his ego, he kind of gets into this swing matches, and he just swings and swings and swings, and he tires himself out. And so that is really where his mistakes could cost him in a fight like this, because this is his first 5-round contest. And I thought to myself, I'm like, man, I said, with the versatility of Rafael dos Anjos, this is really going to prove whether or not he's going to be elite at the top of this division. Regardless of if he wins or loses, I believe that Fiziev has a bright future in front of him, man. That striking, man, is going to be hard to beat. I don't care who you are. It's going to be hard to strike with this guy. It's going to be hard to find openings on him. Even if you're a wrestler and you're a heavily grappler and he doesn't have great wrestling, it's going to be hard to find openings to shoot because of how flashy, how quick he is on the feet. And anybody out striking him, I really don't see, at least at 155, somebody who can just beat him in a striking match. I don't. So the main worry that I have for him is that he isn't very developed in this game yet. In the UFC, that means. In the UFC, he has, like I said, a very extensive background in combat sports, but in the UFC at the top of the top, we don't know how much that he can handle. And that is just the truth. But with that being said, I still think that he's going to be something special. If he somehow loses to Rafael dos Anjos, which he very much so can, it's just going to be a learning experience for him. And he's just going to get better off of it. So, I want to know what you guys think of Fiziev. I think that his potential is very, very high if he can make the right adjustments. And if he beats Rafael dos Anjos, it's probably going to be in somewhat impressive fashion, or he's going to win 3 out of the 5 rounds with dos Anjos coming back to score points on him. Or, who knows, dos Anjos can go to the wrestling early and exploit weaknesses in this guy's game and dominate him for 5 rounds. Nobody knows. I just know that he has potential no matter what. It's been your boy Trippy, and I'm out, man.